then we say, hey,
Okay.
let's do this.
So I'm gonna give you a three, or I'm gonna give you a 3-2-1. I'm gonna say 3, 2. Wait, dang it! Sorry. Hey, welcome back to PETEPLAYS.
Dun dun dun!
Ah! That's definitely where
Yeah,
I'm going. Like in the middle of me screaming, I'm going to cut to the intro, so it'll be. Ah! Don't. Mary, did you know?
Mary, did you know?
Hey.
That'll be where. Could that be where it comes?
Oh, sorry. No. Say it. Say your words.
Say it. Hi everyone, this is Patrick, guest host of Pete Plays for the next couple of episodes, and here we are playing Pit People, and we just finished doing some upkeep of our characters, so you didn't have to watch that, and we are ready to get back into the fray. Isn't that right, my bae?
Oh yeah. Wait, I am your bae, right?
You are.
Good. Okay. We made it through.
Let's do this.
Yeah. All right, here we are.
And you may remember, if you're a viewer, that we caught a new person, and I think maybe Peter, you have that person. I can't exactly remember.
I have
Cool.
Mortimer. Did you get a cage?
Mortimer.
Because what we realized was, in order to recruit somebody, you needed a recruit cage, and I think you've got one.
I think I do now. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Good.
I do have one.
Alrighty. So I guess do we want to go do that? We already went and saved Biblevania or whatever it was.
Right.
Was that the one we did?
What do you think? I think we did Attack of the Firemen. Harry Hardboil in the case of someone on his case is the middle one, which we haven't done anything about. And then there's an annual competition right in front of you. So we can do one of the two on the right, I think, and be hopefully able to deal with that. I think we might need to do some random encounters.
Yeah.
Some more fights.
Yeah.
You want to try
something
that?
like Yeah, let's do that. And I'm also seeing on the story quest, it's got a little X next to a sixth person, which makes me think that we need to get another person for you before we can do more quests. That may or may not be true, but you know, dude, mortars can't fire at close range. Exploit their weakness.
That's a giraffe, right? What's up with that giraffe?
Yeah,
We belong in the zoo in the Sahara or something crazy. I need some gold.
Yeah, dude. Let's get those, but then I guess we could fight that guy. Is that how you?
Yeah, let's go fight him.
Okay.
I'm just gonna run into him.
Yeah.
Let's just do this.
That's how you fight people. You hit them with a car. That's
All
a
right.
little more violent than I intended. All right.
Oh man.
Oh, there
boy,
we
so they got first hit. They got preemptive upon us or something,
Oh,
and
I don't like that at all. Okay.
Not
here
one
we go.
bit. Okay.
Gonna have him go. Oh boy, I gotta get Sweet Cup and Cakes kind of away. I also gotta get Arrowed Mortimer, my bae. Okay.
I really also love that's what you referred to your character as. Oh, I need to actually reverse. I have a little group I need to take care of over here.
Oh yeah, there's this little.
Didn't even see him. Oh man.
Sloppy bum. What?
Sloppy bum. That's a good name for them.
Well, so Patrick, in our time, which is the past for you who are in the future, but it is your present. It was just recently Father's Day, and Patrick, I think you had an idea of something that you would like to see happen.
Yeah,
on
I
this
just thought
episode.
this could be a. Yes, I thought this could be a fun time given that Father's Day for us when we were beginning to plan our Pit People episodes, Father's Day had happened. I thought it'd be fun to tell 2 stories each about our dads to celebrate dads and dadhood, and I wanted us to tell, as I referred to them to you, a Go Dad story, and that would be a time when, hey, my dad was really awesome.
Yeah.
And did this awesome, amazing thing, because I think that's a worthwhile thing to talk about. And I would love to then tell a oh no dad story, which is simply a story where your dad maybe did something maybe that was like suboptimal as a father.
I like
which is
that
okay.
word, suboptimal. It's such a great word.
Suboptimal. You know, I mean, it doesn't mean that your dad was a bad dad or my dad was a bad dad. It's just sometimes we do goofy, silly things as people, and dads do that too. So that's where my head's at. So it's up to you how we start and how we do it. Do you want to do? How about we could each tell our own both back to back, or we can alternate. What do you think would be fun?
I like alternating.
Yeah.
But I would love for you to go first. Why don't we do it like choosing?
As guest.
Why don't we do it like choosing like where you get to put your stuff in Catan? You go, and then I'll go 2, and then you finish because you are the guest of this fantastic show, and I want that for you. I want you.
And it is a fantastic show.
I want you to be the last thing in the minds. Ooh, that's great for you. I want you to be the last thing in the minds of our sweet, peaceful viewers. How do you feel about
so
that?
Peaceful, even though we're fighting. Yeah, I would love that. Well, why don't I go ahead, and I am going to start off with a. Honestly, I like starting by thinking about our dads in a really positive light. So let's go ahead and tell a Go Dad story.
All right.
So I'm going to start by telling you, my dad's name is Ronald Craig Harding. So let's go ahead and tell a story about Ron. Ron is, as when I was growing up, was an incredibly he was the guy with the temper, and so we never wanted to cross him as kids. And he just grew up with sort of a really hard mom and dad who didn't really tolerate much or give him much leniency.
Yeah.
So he, both of us are from Indiana, and I think that's a really common mentality there, is that you should be tough on your kids. And if my parents were tough on me, I'm going to be tough on you, and it's going to make you be tough, and you're going to be happy when you're older that I made you as tough as I am, right?
Yeah.
So that was definitely my pops. That was definitely Ron. So imagine my horror as this happens to me. It's Indiana. It's in the middle of the winter, and I had my dad's car, and I was driving my dad's car around, and his car was it was fairly new, and I had driven it into this parking lot that was honestly, looking at it now, it was just way too snowy, and on the way out there was this really steep hill by this gate, and it was just big enough for one car to get through. So I was just trying to leave this parking lot at this like teen center I used to hang out at, and I got the car like halfway up the hill, and I had this girl in my car too, and I think maybe just trying to show off to this girl.
Yeah.
And I tried I tried to gun it up the hill, and I got the car kind of stuck, and then I sort of started to panic, and I ran really hard into the gate, and the gate sort of like got wedged in the bumper and tore off a good chunk of the bumper. Yeah, I know, and this is like my dad's car that he hadn't had for very long. We were dirt poor growing up, right? So this was a bad move on my part. This was bad, and
this was no bueno.
This was no bueno. And then what was worse was my dad's car slid backwards down the hill, back into the parking lot, into an unplowed part of the lot. So then the car got stuck.
Oh no!
So ripped up my dad's car, and then I got it stuck in the snow. And then I had to phone a friend, and the girl that was with me totally abandoned me and just left. She got a ride from somebody else out of that parking lot. So hey, thanks that person, who shall remain nameless.
Yeah.
And then I had to do the call where I told my dad, hey, I am so sorry. I totally messed up your car. Except that wasn't exactly how the conversation started off. What actually happened was me calling, and then my dad picked up the phone, and me saying, "Hey, is mom there?" Because I knew my mom would yell at me. And I had I had my license for not very long at this point too, so I just knew that this was gonna be a really terrible encounter. Anyway, but no, my mom wasn't there. My dad said, hey, what's going on? So I told him, and he came, got me, helped me get the car unstuck, and he never yelled at me once. And he let me take the car again, like later that day, and it was just so it was a total non-issue. And this guy who I always thought was this cranky, mean dude sometimes because he was, raised in sort of a hard circumstances with parents who didn't have much money and we didn't have much money, was like, hey, I'm just glad you're okay. And that was the end of it. He never yelled at me for it. And he never made me feel badly about it, even all these years later. It was just a non-issue. So that's a go dad moment.
Yeah, go
Dad.
dad.
Thanks for not yelling at me. Yeah, go dad. Thanks for not yelling at me.
Go dad. I would like to take this opportunity to let you know that this episode of Pete Plays is sponsored by GoDaddy.com. No, it's not. That's a lie.
That I wish they would pick the show up though. They would do well to pick up this show.
I wouldn't hate that. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
All right, go daddy. Your move.
Yeah, go daddy. Okay. Quick update. Mortimer perished. And I'm having a bad time up here. And a lot of it has to do with these guys that are fighting me. All have helmets, and I don't have any good like swords don't work really well against helmets. Yeah. So I didn't think about that.
Maybe you just run towards me, and then we'll face them together.
Yeah, I'm
trying
to kind of make my way downtown, just bringing it around town.
Making my way downtown,
yeah,
driving fast, and I'm homebound.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about. And I don't mean to take away the viewer's ability to watch our awesome action. I mean, it's one of those games where there's a lot of downtime. Like right now, not so much action, and you get to see our turns here soon. I'm really not thinking that hard about these turns. I'm just trying to keep Cupcake alive, keep Glue 10, Glue 20, Whole 30 alive. And,
right back at you, friend.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So it's. But anyway, I would love to hear a story about your pops.
Yeah,
he did you good.
That's a go dad story. Yeah, man, it's weird because a lot of my go dad stories are like really, I don't know. They're like you kind of gotta know my dad. Not that like I don't need to know your dad. Here's one. And I'll try to set it up for some context. But
please do.
My
please do.
dad he plays things very close to the vest. He's not particularly he's very I think secretly he's very opinionated. But he doesn't talk, right? Like he just doesn't let people know what's on his mind. And he doesn't wear it either, right? You know how some people never talk, but you know exactly what they're saying.
Right.
That's just that happens, and that's not him. He doesn't do that either. So it's unusual to be able to tell, like, oh, this is what Dad's thinking in this moment, like right now. So anyway, I used to coach high school softball with my father, and he was the head coach. I think I'm ready. He was the head coach, and I was an assistant coach. And he knows the game very well, and he's just he's kind of a somebody who just like studies the book really well, so he knows lots of things.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. Oh dear, my oh man, I just lost another human. Anyway, he doesn't let people know what he's thinking even on the softball field. But there was one time that there was like a little bit of a kerfuffle. You know, there was like something going on, and our pitcher was like, okay, I'm ready to go, but then the batter on the other team wasn't ready to go. So then she was like, there was just this whole like, it's, you know when you are in a hallway and you do the like, oh, you go, I go, you go. It was like that, but in softball. And finally the umpire got fed up with it, and he points at our pitcher and he goes, you have 10 seconds. And then points to the batter and says, you have 20 seconds, right? So he just goes, you have 10 seconds, you have 20 seconds. And my dad is sitting on a bucket in the corner of the dugout giving signals to the catcher. And he gets off the bucket. And I've never seen my father move that fast in my entire life. He just like shot out of the dugout and did the thing where he goes, time, Blue, like asked for time, but clearly wasn't asking. He was saying, I'm going up to talk to you right now, so you better listen. And basically he told him, you're wrong, it's the opposite, like you don't have the rule right. And the umpire was like, no, I know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And it turns out that yes, my dad was right and the umpire was wrong, but it was just so awesome to like see him. It would have been the correct response if like someone had said, help me, my wallet just got stolen, and he was like, pew! Like just, I'm getting that wallet back, right? He just flew out of there, but it was so cool because he was like still under control the whole time. Very cool.
Right.
And in that moment I was like, that's awesome. Like that's the kind of coach I want to be. I want to be the coach that like doesn't go looking for fights, but when the umpire doesn't know the rule, I'm gonna tell him what's what, and tell him.
Yeah.
I remember the last thing he said before he left was, he goes, "You're wrong, Blue," and then turns around and walks back to the dugout. And it was so awesome because I've never seen my dad just straight up say, he basically was like, "You're wrong and you should feel bad about yourself." And it was awesome.
That is awesome. So your dad sounds an awful lot like, I mean, they're again both laconic Indiana men who just don't talk a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know, but you know if something's wrong, they want to fix it, especially if people are getting yelled at for stuff that they don't need to be.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
He's a good dude.
I like that.
He's
dude.
He's a good dude, and I like. Waiting. Oh no, okay, never mind. It said waiting for players, and I was like, where are the players? Anyway.
In fact. That's a good old story about your pops, and I love hearing about it.
Oh, but can't. Crap. I tried to move a place that you were going to move, and I cannot.
Yeah, I'm picking up on the. Oh, I see where you're moving up your tiles. Not good at it yet.
Yeah. So
it is worth mentioning.
My Wodad story is a lot of fun, and it's one of my favorite stories about my dad. So my mom and dad, when I was a little kid, like they used to play bridge. This was the early 90s. I think it was maybe like Christmas time, 93. So I was like 5 years old. And let's get rid of that guy. Oh, there's Arrow Baby over there.
Yeah, I'm running after him. I want him done. Goodbye, Arrow Baby. Aerospace Baby.
Aerosmith's baby. Run away from the pain. So my dad and my mom go to bridge club, and they play bridge with people, and it's fun. And this was back in the day when it was like, are we gonna try to? Do you want to capture that Arrow Baby? Are you gonna capture him?
I don't know if I am or not. Actually,
okay.
I wasn't planning on it because
You don't
because he's not that exciting. I wanna capture somebody like way cooler, but we'll see if we can make that happen.
Yeah, dude,
You know what I'm saying?
I love the way you're thinking. I love what you're doing with your life.
Dude.
I think that's a fantastic way to live that life.
Let's do that.
I want Pipistrella out of there because she's getting punched really hard. So my mom and dad go to Bridge Club, and then they do the whole thing. They come back, and a couple weeks later, the family, the couple that was hosting Bridge Club, they sent out photos that they took. Oh wow, photos! And they all took a nice Christmas photo. And this was back in the day when you had to like go to CVS. I don't even think you could do it at CVS. You had to like go to a department store and go to the photo developing place. And I lost another one. You gotta go there and you gotta wait for 2 weeks, and then finally they will have photos for you. And they sent the photo to my mom, and the woman said, here's the photos from Bridge Club. They're really great, but I'm so sorry. There must have been some sort of imperfection in the negatives, because it looks like there's a mark on the photo, and it looks like there's something on your husband's face, but clearly it's just on the negative. But otherwise, it's a great photo. And my mom looks at the photo, and immediately she goes, John. And it turns out that my father has a penchant for ruining photos that he doesn't want to be in by putting things in his nose. He does not like to be photographed.
Hey, I'm sorry, I made a last minute change, and I was like, let's just have him, because I think we need I think that 6 will help, and we'll get better ones as we go.
Yeah,
it'll be good. Anyway, sorry.
No, don't worry about it. I love it. But I also need to announce to you that we have to go back, because half my team has perished, and I need to unperish them. But
let's go fix that, dude.
So in the photo, he's standing in the back, and there's like 4 or 5 couples. He's standing in the back, and my mom knew immediately. Right? Like, she knew that it was not a quote-unquote imperfection of the negatives. It turns out he had taken a carrot and stuck it in his nose for the photo. And my mom was so mad at him for ruining the photo. And he just... I think I saw it one time. He had this kind of just wry smile on his face. It's like... and he's done that. And that's what he just... smiles, except now that he's older, instead of putting things in his nose, he just smiles with his eyes closed for photos. Not really sure why he does that, but that's what happens. So that's my whoa dad.
That's awesome.
It's just like dad putting things right in his Australia.
Welcome to Australia. That's his favorite continent.
Australia. That's not a nose. This is a nose. Noise.
That's awesome. I do love the idea of I'm just gonna intentionally mess this up. I really can't wait to mess up your photo.
The original troll, you know?
How are we doing on Peak Plays time? That's what I want to know.
Oh, we're good. I want to hear your Whoa Dad story, and then that'll probably be next time on Peak Plays. But let's hear that story. So, okay, it's really quick. One time I was helping my dad clean out our garage, and he had been by the garage already, before me, and I had thought, oh, well, I'll go see what's up, and I'll talk to him about what we got to do for the day. And so then I said, hey, what's going on with the garage? We got to go clean it out. And he said, yeah, it's time to go. Why don't you go ahead, and I'll meet you there, and you go ahead and crack open the door and start without me. So I thought, okay, whatever. You told me that I needed to be here, and you were kind of grouchy when I was running behind, but okay. So I opened the garage door, and there was a giant bee's nest in the door. Oh no!
And what happened?
No.
What happened next was that I got swarmed by bees, and I got stung like, I don't know, probably no fewer than 10 times. And I was in my teens at this point, probably like 15 or 16 years old. And I have never really figured out for sure, but I am 99% sure my dad knew that bee's nest was there and he did that on purpose. I am 99% sure. Because he very like weirdly walked away from it, and I think he wanted to see what would happen if I opened the door, and I found out what would happen. And what happened was I got stung by a bunch of bees.
Oh
so
my
hey, whoa, Dad. Whoa, Dad.
Whoa, Dad. My dad.
Whoa, dear.
You know my dad.
So anyway, there you go. Happy Father's Day, everybody's dads.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Parents' Day. Happy Humans Day. People that are taking care of you. And if they're fathers, that's especially great. Because we like ours. That sentence didn't make any sense. But
That's perfect.
Back me up here, Patrick. I sound like a babbling. I'm out of my mind. So I think this is a perfect time for next time on PETEPLAYS. We're gonna go do some more McFight.
See you guys.
Bye.